Welcome in to the latest episode of Betting the Pitch with your host, the real underscore G Warner. This is super late night with the real underscore G Warner, but we're here, and I am not tired yet. As Scott Van Pelt likes to say, I'm not tired at all. I have I am super tired actually, but I have the burning fire of 10,000 suns after watching Wilson Contreras stretch for a ball with absolutely no need. Former catcher that signed a big deal in St. Louis for the Cardinals, and then literally looks like the worst signing of all time. Literally drops a double play grounder to get out of an inning. Could be 4-3 Mets instead of 6-3, and that probably means St. Louis Cardinals will lose. But this is a soccer podcast. We're going to go through the top five European soccer leagues all as they are rushing down the stretch to try to finish the season. We've been on a really good run lately, and certainly on this podcast, 44 and 18, 71% year to date on our best bets. And I will take my favorite pick from each of the leagues, smash them together in a 1 minute video on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify for the full episode. But if you want the 1 minute reel on Instagram at the real underscore G Warner, if you want it on YouTube in the shorts version at the real underscore G Warner there too. And if you do want the full versions, Betting the Pitch on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, plus YouTube at the real underscore G Warner can get you done there as well. It's time to go through the all the leagues. We're gonna go England, Spain, Italy, Germany, and France, and then just make sure that I have this all queued up and ready to go. And then we'll get going. We'll start in the English Premier League, which had a rare Friday match this weekend. I don't really know why they're doing that, considering the run-in should all be equal with rest and things of that nature. But I guess the title race is over. Looks like relegation's over there too. So they're just kind of playing out the string. And that is something that I think is valuable to talk about as we get deeper into the season. So let me pull this up and then we will get started. Thank you to those of you that are here live. It's super late, but thank you for the support as always. So we'll start in England. Saturday early match, and I don't have a ton of interest in this one, just to spoil this one already. Aston Villa, three-quarter goal favorites right now at home to Fulham. Fulham with all the juice, totals 2 3/4, and the juice is split both ways. I feel like we've seen Fulham outperform early in seasons and then fall apart, maybe due to lack of depth, or I don't know. That's one way to explain it. Not caring for where they finished, though there was certainly a push for Fulham to potentially qualify for Europe this season. They've been pretty bad, so I don't really want to do much to mess with them. I feel like our defense has been pretty weak. Going to Birmingham to face Aston Villa, that's a tough place to go. And so I don't really think I want much to do with this in the early window. So we'll move to a really light, actually, 10 a.m. Eastern time, 9 a.m. Central. Everton hosts Ipswich. Currently, Everton a 1 goal favorite. Ipswich Town looks like they're going to climb to 1 1/4 as all the juice is on the home team. Totals 2.5, and its juice is split both ways again here. I don't know how anyone looks to overs with Everton matches. Yes, they sometimes hit, but they're rare. And I feel like the way to get them are really Everton conceding goals. I don't think Ipswich are really going to do much to do that. They certainly need to get every point they can, whether it's for pride or to stay up in some dreamland. But I think Everton, as a big favorite, just doesn't really compute for me. I don't think I want to trust Ipswich, even though Liam Delap has been so good this season. I just don't really trust them to score goals. So I'll go under 2.5 as opposed to backing the full goal underdog, though I like that. And I certainly like that more as it climbs, which it should. Another battle of promoted sides that look like they are more than down. Leicester City, a pick 'em right now to Southampton. All the juice on Leicester City. The Foxes at home, totals 2 3/4, juice a little bit more to under. This is pretty much just closing your eyes and pin the tail on the donkey at this point. Leicester do seem cheap to me, though, to pick them. I think there's a reason for that. People like Southampton in the Premier League market. Can't really explain it, but they must based on where this price is. No interest in the total for me. And we'll go to the nightcap on Saturday. That's Arsenal, half a goal favorites to Bournemouth. More juice on the Bournemouth side. Totals 2.5, juice all the way to over. So Bournemouth to me are a really great underdog, and I love backing them because they play a deep low block and they counterattack you. And I feel like what's going to happen here, though, is Arsenal's going to want the ball. They're going to try to control this game, and they're going to push Bournemouth into their own 18-yard box. Makes that pitch very, very long, as we saw with Inter Milan and Barcelona midweek in Champions League. I think there are some parallels because Marcus Thuram said it after the match that it's really hard, even once you do defend well in your own end, to get the ball and then try to race your way down the pitch. I don't know that Arsenal play with the same type of style and strategy Mikel Arteta employs versus what Hansi Flick has done with Barcelona, previously Bayern Munich, and also the German national team. But I think at this point, I don't see a lot of goals. I like the half of a goal on Bournemouth. It's probably too low for me to want to play and fade the Gunners at home, but under 2.5, I think, is my biggest interest in that Saturday nightcap. We'll move to Sunday. West Ham United hosting Tottenham off of their Europa League semifinal. West Ham, a half of a goal favorite. All the juice on Tottenham away. Total is 3, just more to the under. And this is a tough situation because Tottenham are clearly haven't focused on the Premier League in months now. So they should be rotating. I can't imagine their best defenders play. I think Ange has realized that trophy in the Europa League to kind of find a way sneaking into the Champions League is the only way to keep his job. So that makes me want to back West Ham, but I don't really like them as a favorite, I got to say. I do think the total is high. I do like to push on 3, but if Tottenham's not playing their best defenders, then I'm not sure that's going to really make it to my card. I'll lean that way to under 3 in that one. Brentford then hosts Manchester United. Currently, Brentford 3/4 goal favorites with more juice. Totals 2 3/4 juice, a little bit slightly 2 cents more to the under. Another big spread for Manchester United. And I think last week's spread they were gigantic and kind of came in towards kickoff time because they played their best lineup that they could. I don't know if that was preparing for their Europa League match or what, but they are big dogs and they are coming off a tough trip and a tough Europa League match against Atletico Bilbao from La Liga in Spain. So it makes sense they're an underdog, not to this size though. So that's the only way I could lean, but I certainly need to see what a lineup looks like and probably will not make my card. Lean to under 2 3/4 because I feel like there's been more value in unders with Manchester United than almost any team in the world this year. Brentford have the ability to score goals, but they're not a team that's going to create a ton of chances or high XG. They're trying to score off of set pieces and grind these little results as the poker player mentality their owner used to be. Moving still in the same window because we have a million games. Brighton hosts Newcastle United. Currently, Brighton a pick 'em. All the juice on Newcastle away. Total is 3, just all the way to over. Newcastle have been great, and I thought they might get a little bit distracted by winning the Carabao Cup, first trophy in forever. But then they press on and just murder teams like Crystal Palace. So hard for me to get in the way of that train. I am interested more in Brighton if they move to a quarter goal underdog because like home results and certainly a draw at home would probably not be a great result for Brighton. Though against a Newcastle side, it might be looked at differently. I think for the total here, juice all the way to over on 3. I'd like it more if it gets to 3 1/4 to play under, as if it lands 3, you win half your bet. That's probably my biggest interest in this matchup until we get Brighton a quarter goal underdog in their own building. Last on Sunday, before we get to a Monday match as well, Chelsea, they're hosting Liverpool. Currently, Chelsea quarter goal favorites with all the juice. Total is 3, just all the way to over. Chelsea coming off of Djurgården, I believe, in Sweden, Stockholm, if I'm not mistaken. And we'll see how well they bounce back. Were and are big favorites in Conference League to move through. Liverpool have locked up a title and have looked pretty average for this entire season, but the rest of the Premier League has been horrible. Too bad for the long shots. There was no Leicester City around, but that's why Nottingham Forest have been in a Champions League discussion for a long time because the Premier League is bad. With that said, Liverpool is an underdog. I can't look away, especially if we get even a half of a goal, so I don't even have to win to get a full unit one on the road. Not great at Stamford Bridge, but I haven't believed in Chelsea in a long time, and I see no reason to change that idea. Probably could see some goals here, so I don't think I like the under very much. Moving to Monday, Crystal Palace, quarter goal favorites at home to Nottingham Forest. A little bit more juice, 2 cents more on the home team. Totals 2.5, juice all the way to under. And forever, I'm looking to back unders or to bet unders involving Nottingham Forest. They've climbed the table. I feel like they're going to be one of the best fades next year if they do, especially if they qualify for Champions League or any European competition. Palace have not been great at home like they usually are, but I expect that to probably fix itself next year. It's one of those matches where I feel like there's got to be a favorite here. It's got to be the home team, but under 2.5 is my biggest interest. So for my best bet from the English Premier League on this episode, I'm going to go with Bournemouth under 2.5 goals. And we'll now move to Spain. So we'll start in the early morning window of Saturday, May 3rd. Happy birthday to my half sister, Ella. Hope she's having a great time. I think she's still in Scotland. In college there. Alaves, they are hosting Atletico Madrid. Currently, Alaves quarter goal underdogs at home with all the juice. Total is 2, just all the way to over. Almost all the juice right now on Atletico Madrid away. Totals tiny. The spread's really small, and I think it reflects how poorly Atletico Madrid are closing the season, really, once they went out of Champions League, Copa del Rey, and the La Liga title race all in one. Alaves are not a team I want to back, but I like home underdogs, so I'll put the quarter of a goal on my list and under two, though it's just so small considering how much talent Atletico Madrid have, whether it's really delivered in the last few months or not. But we'll move on to the next one. Villarreal hosting Osasuna. Currently, Villarreal 1.25 goal favorites. All the juice on Osasuna away. Total is three, just slightly more to over by 4 cents right now at BetOnline. Villarreal have not been great at home this season. They've been great away from home, and I don't know how to explain it. It might be the yellow walls of their new refurbished stadium that might have done it, but Osasuna also have road problems. So there's some kind of they're kind of butting heads on they're both bad in these places. So that does make me lean towards the big underdog, especially because Osasuna lose by a single goal and they're still in a great position. Will cover half of your bet. Lean to under three also because I don't think Villarreal are scoring as many goals as they were earlier this season, but we'll see. Osasuna just trying to figure out if they're worth backing away is the big question. Betting away or batting away from home. Next, we move to Las Palmas hosting Valencia in the Las Islas Canarias, the Canary Islands. Las Palmas quarter goal favorites right now. All the juice on Valencia away. Totals 2.25. Juice all the way to over. So this has moved between quarter and a pick'em back to a quarter goal favorite now. Las Palmas. I don't expect it to stay there. Big name Valencia. They've been playing much better. Las Palmas fighting relegation, as are Valencia, but have been, I think, kind of pulling away from it. Though it seems like that never actually ends up happening. But big match for Las Palmas, of course, but still big for Valencia. So I don't think they're going to look past them. I think I'm interested in the road underdog, though I don't expect. I imagine I'll move down to pick them, and then I'll probably just have an interest in the total, which is 2.25. Could be 2.5 before kickoff, but honestly, I'd probably sell the 2.5, play the under 2.25 if you have it, and take the plus odds. As I think we see a low scoring game in the islands. We'll move to the nightcap on Saturday. Valladolid 2.25 goal underdog at home to Barcelona. Totals 3.75. Juice is split both ways. Barca, they've got a big turnaround. They got it. Well, I guess they're equalized, but they did fall behind 2-0 and 3-2 to Inter Milan at home. Now they got to go to San Siro and deal with all the pregos outside and probably not going to make too much of a difference. The billetes and stuff. But I think for the most part, Barca are going to really name their score here with Valladolid because they're still fighting for a Liga title. They have Copa del Rey in hand. They have the Supercopa de España. They've done really well this year. Credit to Hansi Flick. I don't know that what the price would take for me to want to back Valladolid. They're in great position because Barcelona are looking ahead, but the backups from Barcelona should beat the Segunda División side. That's clearly already figuring out who they're playing next year, probably in that second division. Moving to Sunday, we'll go to Real Madrid hosting Celta de Vigo. Currently, Real Madrid goal and a half favorites at home, or juice on Celta away. Totals 3.5, juice slightly more to over. Celta have been playing really well and climbing the table and deserve some respect. I think they can go into the Bernabeu and cause real problems because Real Madrid, this is like the worst version of them we've seen in a long time. They've survived with Ancelotti and his coaching, but not signing more defenders in January was a big mistake. I think all the money they allotted for Kylian Mbappe has not worked out very well. It probably will in the future. But give me Celta goal and a half underdogs and would lean to under 3.5, though I gotta say Real Madrid's defense does worry me. It would help certainly the side, but it would definitely damage the total. Moving next to Sevilla, hosting Leganés. Currently Sevilla 3/4 goal favorites at home. All the juice on Leganés away. Total is 2, juice more to the over. And I expect low scoring games to Sevilla, though they've changed managers. And really, the previous manager, Garcia Pimienta, was just so perfect at Las Palmas, and also when he moved up to Sevilla, just playing unders left and right, every direction you can, never expecting goals from them. I think Leganés are kind of in that can't score goals type of region. They fight their way for it, and I credit them for being a low budget team that didn't really add anybody when they got promoted to the Primera División. But it's not going to work away from home, I don't think. So I'll go under 2 as their best chance to really keep a clean sheet and try to get a result that way. Espanyol and host Real Betis coming off of Europa Conference League action with Fiorentina at home. Espanyol quarter goal underdogs at home with more juice, totals 2.25, and it's juice more to the under. I think Espanyol and under both fit. Espanyol could score too many goals for under, unfortunately, because I really just like this team and I've wanted to back them. They've been really poor away from home, but they've kind of fixed that since it was kind of noticed that they were a great home team. I see no reason to be afraid of Real Betis coming off of Conference League. They've done a good job, Manuel Pellegrini, their manager, of balancing Abuelo has done a really good job, the grandfather, of picking who's going to play and what, and they somehow qualify for Conference League every year and are doing better this one. But home underdog and under are my interest there, fading a Real Betis side that have the second leg of a semifinal coming up next. To the Sunday nightcap, the El Derby Basco. We have Real Sociedad, as I wear their shirt, not a kit, but something with a logo on it. They're hosting Athletic Club de Bilbao, coming off of their Europa League semifinal first leg with Manchester United. Real Sociedad, quarter goal favorites right now. All the juice on Athletic Club. Total is 2, just more to the under. And this is a difficult game because Athletic Club certainly have their eyes elsewhere, but this is also the most important match to them, especially the most important road match, I guess you could say. Home match is probably the reverse of this fixture. But there's a lot that Athletic Club, I mean, they've been rotating the Williams brothers and not playing them in La Liga, trying to hang on to Champions League interests, but also trying to win and get a home final in their San Mamés Stadium for the Europa League final coming up. I like the spot for Real Sociedad. They've not been playing well this season. It's been a pretty rough year. I think at Pick'em, I like them a lot more, but for now, I'll lean to under 2 in El Derby Basco. And moving to Monday of Girona hosting Mallorca. Currently, Girona half a goal favorites. All the juice on Mallorca away. Total is 2, just all the way to over. I don't see goals in this one. Girona have had nothing like the season they did last year, finishing second, I think, in La Liga, or at least in the running for that, and then getting a Champions League berth. Well, they haven't been able to win matches, and I just want to be against them. So I think I'll put Mallorca getting a half of a goal on my list as well. I think under 2 is my biggest interest there, but there's a lot of good in that one, I gotta say. And so for my best bet, I'll go Valencia under 2.25 goals, as I think that's probably the more likely number to stick. As Valencia is a side, I feel like we'll be pick 'em before the game kicks off. So let's move now to the Italian Serie A. There is a new podcast I've been doing this starting the season with the Formula One racing. And if you're into that, certainly with a betting lens as always, but best bets end of show. Go check that out with my co-host Roscoe Poop Scoop on Twitter. It's an inside joke if you're an F1 fan or listener. At Joe Dollar sends in his thoughts every week, and he's kind of like a guest columnist, if you will, as he's throwing stuff out there, and I get my co-host to really riff on what she thinks about, see what she thinks about F1, and if Joe's going to get richer by the dollar, if you will. Longtime Patreon subscriber. Thank you for your support there, Joe. And of course, all the other Patreon subscribers at patreon.com/real_G Warner. Best spot to get all my plays, leans, and write-ups across all sports. Had a good hockey night finally. I feel like I've been making good bets there that haven't really come through. But baseball has been a slow start, but we've been turning it around. And I like where things have been going, as long as Wilson Contreras is not dropping easy double play balls. So we'll move now to Serie A in Italy. We'll start in the Saturday. I think there's an early window with 2 matches. Yes, we'll start with Cagliari hosting Udinese. Currently, Cagliari quarter goal favorites at home. All the juice on Udinese away. Total is 2, juice all the way to over. Udinese just haven't been the same offense without Florian Thauvin. He's incredible French national, if it wasn't surprising by that pronunciation. But Cagliari, they're a little bit more expansive at home, but I just don't really trust them to score many goals. So my biggest interest here is probably not to the road underdog, but instead to the under, especially if we get a 2.25 before kickoff. That's a lot more interesting to me. But I'll put Udinese under 2 on my list for the ultimate best bet possibility. Parma then hosts Como. Currently, Parma a quarter goal underdog at home. More juice on Como away. Totals 2.5, just more to the over. Como score goals. They usually take a lead and then give it up, but it's not against bad teams like Parma, who are just trying to do everything they can with a second manager to try to stay up in Serie A after being promoted from Serie B last season. I like the home underdog. I'll take the quarter of a goal. I don't know that I'll actually play it, but we'll certainly be waiting to see if Como money hits. And I feel like I should lean to under 2.5, but that doesn't really fit Como. And unfortunately, with unders, you really want both sides to fit the low goal strategy. Lecce then hosts Napoli. Currently, Lecce a 1-goal underdog at home with all the juice. Total is 2.25, juice all the way to over. I don't trust Napoli to score goals. They're a big favorite away, so automatically that puts Lecce a 1-goal underdog for a very important push on a 1-0 loss. But I think that actually plays better into the under's hand. I don't think Lecce is going to score many goals. Like Bashirotto had gotten a header late in stoppage time a few match days ago, Jornatas ago, and I just don't really see them scoring goals. So lean to Lecce, but more to the under in that matchup on Saturday. To the nightcap, Inter Milan hosts Verona. Currently, Inter a 1.25 goal favorite at home with more juice. Totals 2.75, juice all the way to under. They put a lot into the Barcelona effort. Dumfries came back from injury, scored a couple goals. We saw Lautaro get injured. That's a concern, certainly for Champions League and honestly for their defense of the Scudetto. We'll see how that all works its way out. But Verona, to me, are an interesting side here because they've got a great time. If you're ever going to go to San Siro and have to play Inter Milan, yes, they're very deep, but it's when Champions League is right in the middle of it, smack in the middle of the two legs. I love that situation. Lean to under 2 and 3/4, and also the road underdog. To Sunday, we have Empoli hosting Lazio. Currently, Empoli half a goal underdog at home with more juice. Actually, all the juice on Lazio away. Totals 2.5, juice all the way to under. If I'm not mistaken, Empoli took out Juventus, but they might have taken Lazio, maybe not, in the Coppa Italia. I'm not sure, but Empoli half a goal underdog. I just haven't been able to trust them when they started splitting their season, trying to go after a Coppa Italia title, though they had been rotating for that competition the entire way. Now they're fighting relegation. That's a tough spot to be in, so I'll probably pass on that one. Move to Monza, hosting Atalanta. Monza already relegated to Serie B. 1 and 3/4 goal underdogs. All the juice on Atalanta away. Totals 3 1/4, juice all the way to under. Atalanta have been a little bit under the radar to me because they haven't been really competing for much, but this is a great spot for them to get healthy or get well or score a bunch of goals. The problem is I don't think Monza is going to let them do that. I like the pride that I've seen from Monza so far, despite the guaranteed relegation. I'll lean under 3 1/4 in that matchup on Sunday. Roma then hosts Fiorentina, coming off of their Europa Conference League away match at Real Betis in Sevilla, Spain. Roma 3/4 goal favorites with all the juice. Totals 2.5, juice all the way to under. And Roma on a great road a rest situation, and they get to play at home while Fiorentina have to travel multiple times in the same week. That's rough. I think I'll be waiting to see Fiorentina move to a full goal underdog. That will be interesting enough to me, I think. And I lean to under, but I feel like that will kind of depend what the Fiorentina lineup looks like. So I'll put Fiorentina under 2.5 on my list for right now. But I think that the side at +1 would be a lot more interesting on Sunday. To the nightcap Sunday, Bologna hosting Juventus. Currently Bologna a quarter goal favorite with all the juice on Juve. Total is 2 1/4, juice all the way to under. So Bologna are the side I want here, but I want them to pick them or better. I'm not sure we'll get there, but Juventus, they have all the juice right now. They have the biggest name in Italian football. I think the former founder of Fiat, I think, is where Juve came from. But I'll wait because I don't have a lot here. I think biggest interest for me right now is the under 2 1/4. But I gotta say, I just don't really trust Juve at this point. I don't trust their defense, and I feel like they've been finding goals late, which have been not great for under players. To Monday, Genoa hosting AC Milan. Currently, Genoa 3/4 goal underdogs at home with all the juice. Totals 2.5, juice more to the over. So Milan, I just don't want to have anything to do with them. I really like Genoa because they are facing Milan at this point. I don't know that I trust them to score a lot of goals, which makes me lean towards under, though Milan, certainly their defense will give goals away. The big question is, can Milan score enough to kill your total and the side, possibly, because they're pretty good at winning matches that they don't deserve. With that said, I've loved Patrick Vieira's defense as he came on board. I'll lean to 3/4 of a goal, hoping on Monday it moves to +1, but I'll lean to under 2.5 because I think that fits the mantra of the home team more so than the away. As for the best bets from Serie A that I'll push into the ultimate best bet coming end of show, I'll go Verona under 2 and 3/4 goals on the road at Inter Milan. Move now to French Ligue 1. We did have a match today on Friday. Sorry I didn't get to it, but we'll start with Strasbourg hosting PSG, coming off their Champions League road victory at Arsenal. I was going back and forth with one of my best friends, a big Arsenal guy, about our expectations for Champions League. And I was like, the market, they're just saying everything about PSG and under, and 1-0 PSG road team. Pretty good. Market was great on that one. And they're giving, it's amazing. I'm not sure I've seen PSG a pick 'em in a long, long time. And that tells me that they're playing their backups because they don't care. They've already won Liga. Champions League is their biggest prize anyway, the one they care most about. Strasbourg in great position to host PSG, but man, you are not getting any sort of discount on anybody but PSG here. I don't know that I want Strasbourg to pick them. It's a little bit more juice on the PSG side. Maybe we climb to a quarter goal underdog, but I don't have much feel for a total because I don't really know what PSG is going to put out there. Moving next to Toulouse hosting Rennes. Currently, Toulouse quarter goal favorites at home with juice split both ways. And the juice is split on the total as well. Total's 2.5 in this matchup. Rennes have been playing great defense as they brought in a third manager. Toulouse have been getting a lot of respect from the marketplace, but quarter feels about right, but it kind of says these two teams are equal. I'm not sure I agree with that, so I'll go Stade Rennais, a quarter goal underdog, but I think I'm more interested in under 2.5, though Toulouse certainly have some goal scoring in them. To the nightcap on Saturday, Saint Etienne hosting Monaco. Currently, Saint Etienne goal and a half underdogs at home. Ginormous, but also Monaco are a great road team, slash they play their home games on the road basically because they get very little support in the Stade Louis II. Totals excuse me, 3 3/4, just more to the under. I think my biggest interest, I do like the home underdog, gigantic ones especially, but under 3 3/4. That's going to take a lot of goals and probably some at Saint Etienne contributions. And they've been very good at home, I think, compared to the road this season. Moving to Sunday, of Nantes hosting Angers. Currently, Nantes a half a goal favorite at home with more juice away. Totals 2 3/4. Excuse me, 2 1/4, 2.25. More juice on Nantes. I think we're getting tired over here. Lean to Angers because they're a big underdog, and Nantes haven't given this type of price in a while. But I guess I leaned under 2 1/4, though that's not really the style that Angers want to play. I do think on the road, though, against a tough Nantes crowd, they will be a lot more defensive. So I'll stick with that under 2 1/4 as another interest in that game. To the big window of Sunday matches, Lyon hosts Lens. Currently, Lyon a 1 goal favorite with all the juice. Tough to say Lyon and Lens back to back in the French versions. Total is 3 1/4, and it's juiced all the way to under. I think Lyon are a better side, but I don't know that they're a goal better than almost anybody in Liga. Certainly some, but I'll take Lens getting that full goal of insurance. I lean to under 3 1/4, 3.25. Yeah, the fatigue is hitting. I've forgotten already about Wilson Contreras. Just kidding. I swear that guy's killed me over the years. In bad ways when he played for the Cubs, and when I backed the Cubs, he'd always throw the ball into right field on a strikeout or bunt or something like that and lose the game. And then tonight looks like he made a big mistake, but I'm only in the 6th inning or something like that. So we'll see what happens. See if I finish that tonight. I hope not. Considering it's 2:31 local time. Next we'll go to Angers hosting Le Havre. Two teams fighting relegation, expected to all season. Angers 1/4 goal favorites with all the juice. Totals 2 3/4 juice all the way to under. Angers can score, Le Havre cannot. So that means I probably don't want to back Le Havre because I don't trust them to score goals away, and they're only a 1/4 goal underdog. That does seem very respectful for them, but I'll lean to under 2 3/4. That's a gigantic total for Le Havre playing another promoted and relegation contender. Stade Brestois then hosts Montpellier. Speaking of teams going down, sadly, in their 50-year celebration ceremony. It's like on their, I think it's their logo now. Brutal. It's what the Washington Capitals did in the NHL, but they look like a team that could win the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I think I picked them in my bracket, so I don't believe that they will win it based on what I've seen from them so far this Stanley Cup playoff season. More on that on patreon.com/real_G Warner if you want some hockey picks. Stade Brestois, though, 1.5 favorites. All the juice on Montpellier totals 3, and it's just more to the over. I don't know if I want to do anything with Montpellier the rest of the season. Sad for them. Ligue is coming. Last but not least, Lille hosts Olympique Marseille. Currently, Lille 1/4 goal favorites right now. The juice on Marseille away totals 2.5. Juice all the way to over. So Marseille are the side I want to look to because I don't feel like Lille have been playing well to end the season. But it's a pretty short number, and I think I gotta be really interested in backing that. I'm not sure I feel that way. For my best bet in France, before we get to the German Bundesliga, I'm gonna go with Saint Etienne under 3 3/4 goals because that's a gigantic number at home to Monaco. We'll go to Germany, to Deutschland. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was quizzed on this last night, and I know Null is also 0, but I can only get to 5, I guess. Probably better than most of you expected, especially wearing a Real Sociedad shirt and speaking English. But hey, RB Leipzig, 1 goal underdog at home to Bayern Munchen. More juice on the Leipzig side, totals 3 3/4, just all the way to under. So Leipzig have already changed managers, but I do like them here as they play very well at home. It's not the same type of home dominance it's been in the past, but it's been better. And I think from a buy-in perspective, I just haven't really liked what I've seen from them this whole season. And I actually now just thought about it. I didn't know if I set up my mic to work. But by the way, love that people are here live. And if you want to throw a comment in here, I will display it as long as I can keep my eyes open a few more minutes. Let's see if I hope that my mic has been picking this up the right way. No, it's not been. Of course not. Oy vey. Okay, now we're on the Yeti. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that sounds better to everybody, and I think it's recording on Zoom in that way. So we'll see how that all happens. I don't think I screwed that up. At least I hope not. Yeah, we're on the Yeti there, just not on StreamYard. My bad. But okay, let's get back to where we were. I like Leipzig. I'll take the 1 goal underdog. I don't think I want much to do with unders involving Bayern at this point, though they're, I think, a more defensive club under Vincent Kompany than they've been under, I don't know, anyone since I followed them so far. Borussia Mönchengladbach then hosts TSG Hoffenheim. Currently Gladbach, a 1/4 goal favorite at home with all the juice. Totals 3 1/4, just all the way to over. Feels like a really cheap price on Hoffenheim. They're certainly in the relegation fight. Gladbach are trying to climb into Europe. Feels like a really, really shady short number, which is usually in Serie A, I think is almost a guaranteed bet on Hoffenheim. I'm not sure I feel the same way about the Bundesliga. They've been giving out free money on unders for a lot of this season and would have been for previous seasons as well, if not for some incredible luck. And the finishing just hasn't been as good in Deutschland this season, in my humble opinion. I think under 3.25 to that leg or level is interesting to me. I just don't know that I really want to bet against a Gladbach offense at home, especially against a Hoffenheim team. They've been better defensively, I think, since they entered into a relegation fight. But I just don't know if they can really stop Tim Kleindienst in his default stadium. Union Berlin then hosts Werder Bremen. Currently, Union a quarter goal underdog at home with all the juice. Totals 2.75. She's all the way to under. So I expected Union to be a favorite here. I'm surprised they're an underdog. Werder Bremen have been playing better, but they're still so hard to trust. And Union, that is such a tough environment. As a home underdog, getting a quarter of a goal, I might play that tonight before we lose it because I don't really mind so much if the total drops to 2.5, but I do want a home draw for Union to pay me some money as opposed to a pick 'em, getting some odds and just returning it all to the sports book. St. Pauli then hosts VfB Stuttgart. Currently, it's Pauli a pick 'em at home. More juice on the road team. Totals 2.75. Juice all the way to under. Stuttgart have not been that impressive to me, but finding their way in the DB Pokal final has done a lot for them, it seems. I think St. Pauli are impossible to back as a pick 'em because you would need them to score a goal to win. But under 2.75 fits pretty well. To the nightcap, the Topspiel on Saturday evening in Germany. As Borussia Dortmund, they are hosting VfL Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg with so many defensive injuries, and that's probably why the spread is 1.75. All the juice on Wolfsburg. Totals 3.5, just a little bit more to over. I want to be against Dortmund against them as much as I can. I just don't know that this Wolfsburg team is where I want it to be now. Early in the season, I think I backed them twice at home, and I think they did well against Dortmund. They might have lost the second leg, but definitely knocked them out of the DFB Pokal way back when. I'll lean to the road underdog and under 3.5 here, but there's gonna have to be a lot of thinking before 11:30 Central Time. That's only 9 hours away. Yikes! To Sunday of Augsburg hosting Holstein Kiel. Currently, Augsburg half a goal favorite at home with all the juice. Totals 2.5, juice almost all the way to over. Holstein Kiel, they concede goals. That's what they do, but they can score them despite being a promoted team from the Schweizer Liga. I think Augsburg are a great underdog to back. I don't really like them as a favorite. So I think the only way I really want to do this is KSV under 2.5 goals. I don't know if that'll make the card, though. Next one on Sunday. Freiburg are hosting Bayer Leverkusen. Currently, Freiburg quarter goal underdogs at home with more juice. Totals 2.75, juice all the way to under. Leverkusen, I want to be against as much as possible. The problem is I can't trust Freiburg to score goals. I don't really like unders involving Bayer Leverkusen because they do have the ability to score. But I guess if I do like anything in this matchup, it's probably the home underdog and playing a low scoring game. I don't know that it'll make the card, but I do have interest there. Last but not least, Mainz 05 and Eintracht Frankfurt. Mainz currently quarter goal favorite. I believe this is a bit of a derby in southwestern Germany. Mainz quarter goal favorites, all the juice on Eintracht Frankfurt. Total is 3, juice all the way to under. So I want Mainz in this situation, and Frankfurt, they are rarely an underdog, sitting at least they were third in the Champions League places in the Bundesliga for a long, long time this season. Mainz have been playing really well, but kind of have been drifting a little bit towards the end of the season. I think that happens when there's a side built on intensity, and you can't do that for 34 match days, 34 Spieltags. I think at this point, though, I guess I lean to the road underdog, and that is Eintracht Frankfurt because they're a rare quarter goal underdog to a team they have a bigger budget than. And I'll lean to under 3, but it's really just because there's a push offered there. I'm not sure I want that so much. For my best bet in the German Bundesliga, I will grab the Union Berlin quarter goal underdog at home, and I think it's something I will grab tonight before I go to sleep as my eyes are almost closed. But it's time to get to the ultimate best bet. I want to make sure those of you that are with me live, thank you for coming in. If you want to throw something in the comments, I'll try to get to it before I shut this baby down. But I need to get my recording device ready and then get into this because it is time to, I still have to do baseball stuff, and that'll be all out tonight. Cannot wait for that. All right, so let's get into this. Whew. Make sure the eyes are open. I think they are. Logos are available, and let's do it. Hey, this is real_G Warner on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, and on YouTube. It's the ultimate best bet from the European top five soccer leagues podcast. We go through England, Spain, France, Germany, Italy, all of them. Pick a best bet from each of the leagues, and we're 44 and 18, 71% year to date. Here are the selections for this episode. Check out patreon.com/real_G Warner for all my plays across all sports. In England, I like Bournemouth under 2.5 goals. La Liga in Spain, I like Valencia under 2.25. In Serie in Italy, I like Verona under 2.75. In Ligue 1 in France, I like Saint Etienne under 3.75 goals. And in the German Bundesliga, aside finally, I like Union Berlin, a quarter goal underdog at home. But for the ultimate best bet on this episode, I think we fade Inter Milan, trying to keep as much as they can together for their Champions League match with Barcelona next week. I'm going to go with Verona under 2.75 goals in a road game that I think will be very, very tight. I think Inter Milan will try to escape in something like a 1-0 or a 2-0 victory. And that'll do it for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in late night with the real_G Warner, especially all of you coming in live. If you could leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, if you're listening to this afterwards, probably many of you will be. 5-star reviews are huge. Fours hurt, unfortunately. I'd rather no review than four, but I understand things happen. And if you leave a 5-star review, it's huge. Subscribe on YouTube at the real_G Warner. Subscribe to Patreon, patreon.com/real_G Warner. And if you want, scroll down or sideways for the next or the previous episode, which was Formula One related, covering the Miami race coming up just this weekend. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you all very soon. Have a great evening, and let's make some money.